Happy Monday! Happy Monday, everyone. What's up?
What is up?
You be juicing.
You know what? My husband has been on this journey of holistic healing, and he strongly believes that organic is the way of living life because health is wealth.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Yeah.
You know, go organic,
Yes.
take it back in the days where we didn't inject everything with steroids and, yeah, it's crazy because I was just talking to our new partner, our new team member, and she was telling me that she took a trip, and in Africa, the chicken eggs are half the size of our chicken eggs because they're natural.
Yes.
And I just started thinking about that. I'm like, wow, we are taking some, like, everything we eat, right, is grown, injected to be, like, immediately consumed or just, it's hard to find organic stuff. And when you do find it, it's expensive. That's a rant.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense, but hey, you guys, we'll scratch that.
Well, first and foremost, I just wanted to thank all of our new subscribers to our channel, and just having to meet with you and talk to you about your thoughts and opinions about our YouTube videos has been very heartwarming because it helps me know that we are providing you all valuable feedback about the real estate market, interest rates, what's going on, and most importantly, how to strategize and get into this market. So extended thank you to all of our viewers who are watching, and
Well, let's jump right into it. What's going on in our market? What's going on with mortgage rates? What's going on with just our industry in general? Last week was interesting. I mean, we're still going through, I think the economy is trying to get used to this war in Iran. It's really affected worldwide, everybody. And inflation is up. So there's a lot of other factors on top of what's going on in Iran. We are seeing inflation going up. And then, of course, we have the Fed story that everybody wants to know, like, what's going to happen? Who's the Fed that's going to come in? How is that going to impact everything? So rates last week stayed pretty flat. They went up a little bit. And when you guys hear rates are up, don't panic because the news media puts that out there and it's a small change. Let's just give you an example. Rates were at 6.25 and rates are up to 6.27. It's not that big of a jump. It probably doesn't make that big of a difference in your payment. But if you listen to the news media, rates are up because they don't tell you how much. They just tell you they're up, right? So it's really important that when you're getting all this information, I think they try to excite everybody so that you keep listening. And it's important that you actually go to people, professionals. They're going to give you break down the information for you. So rates were slightly up. Realistically, and a lot of that really doesn't impact you very much as far as if your payment was going to be $4,000, it's probably going to be $4,010. That's how much of a difference it would make. But what we're seeing, though, is that Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae have put out reports and what they expect rates to be this year. It's about 6% average. So we're not going to see, according to them, rates go down in the 5s or 4s where we were expected. Now, all of that can change, right? Because we're constantly, our economy is constantly moving when something happens. Because, for example, right before the Iran war, we were seeing very good rates. We were seeing VA rates at 5.25, 5.375. We were seeing conventional rates at 5.99, where today conventional rates are, as an average, 6.30. So we were actually seeing very good rates, Angelica. And then we entered the war and boom, everything blew up. So something like that can change our economy worldwide and affect us immediately. So even if Freddie or Fannie Mae are saying that they project rates to be in the 6% for the rest of 2026, it doesn't mean that they won't come down. There's a big change that's going to be happening with our Fed chair. And it is a pretty big change because our current Fed chair is not supposed to be political. Right? The Fed chair makes decisions on our economy, and it's not supposed to be a Republican, a Democrat. They make their decisions based on reports and information. But we all know that politics affect a lot of decision making. And so what we all think is that the new Fed chair is being selected by our current president. And that could possibly be a positive thing for what our president is trying to do currently. And one of the things that we know he's trying to do, he's trying to get business to move, right? To start moving money, business, and he's trying to lower interest rates. He's talked about it, lower gas prices. He's talked about that too. So if that does happen, that would be a really good thing for all of us, because we need lower rates to kind of get things going again. The other good news, believe it or not, people were applying. Loan applications were up. So even though rates went up and we did see it stall for a month, they started picking up again. So I think people get used to this wave of information. And it's like eventually they catch up and they're like, okay, this is our new norm. We're kind of used to it now. And so our clients are very interested in buying right now, are applying, they're getting pre-approved. And I think they're getting really good deals because they're not competing with a lot of people. And I think if you're out there thinking, what should I do? We always talk about this, right? Like, focus on payment. Don't focus on rate, because rates are so, they're just moving.
And when we say focus on payment, don't focus on rate, of course, that's going to affect what type of property you're going to be purchasing.
Yes.
Because the reality is, even though we're not focusing on the rates, depending on the payments that they can afford, that does reflect on the purchase price, because you're teeter-tottering between a single family detached home and a townhome and a condo or a studio, right? Depending on what you can actually qualify for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really important to educate all of our new subscribers and our viewers who are watching that when we say focus on the payment and not the interest rate, also keep in mind that that also affects the reality of what your property is going to actually look like. Because when we say focus on the payment and not the rate, if you can really wrap your mind around the fact that, okay, what is my principal, interest, taxes and insurance, and homeowners association dues, plus any special assessments like Mello-Roos or what have you, depending on what year the property was been built in, that's also going to determine what your monthly expense is going to look like. So when we say focus on your monthly payment, on what you can actually afford versus the interest rate, we've got to educate our audience how to look at reality and how to embrace that. And why is it so important to also keep up with the Monday market update that we're broadcasting is because it's our job to stay on top of what's happening politically, economically, and narrowing it down how it affects you, the viewer who's watching. So if you haven't done so already, or if you're a new viewer to our show, please like and subscribe. Keep up to date with what we're talking about, because we're definitely talking about real numbers here. We put pen to paper and we outline every single expense that you need to be looking for if you're a first-time home buyer, or if you're an investor looking to purchase your second home or investment property. We have plenty of loan products that can help position you into a financial standing that you're going to be happy with.
Yeah, we want to make sure that when you come to us, you get all the information so that you're making an informed decision. It's very important for us to be able to build that trust, that relationship, and also give you the information that's going to help you make a decision for yourself and for your family. It's without that information, if you're making decisions just on emotions, you a lot of times get into a lot of trouble. So we want to make sure we take emotions out of it and we go over the numbers. We show you the breakdown of the PITI-HOA so that you understand that. We look at your current situation with your debts, make sure that you qualify and that you're comfortable with the payment, so that when all of that is done, then we set you up so that you can start searching for that home that falls within those guidelines.
Absolutely. And I just want to remind everyone, we are 10 times worse than the market crash in 2008. So if anybody is waiting on the sidelines, waiting for home crashes, or, back in 2019 when COVID hit for interest rates or whatever the case may be, the reality is that we're actually worse than each one of those times. So the best thing to do now is to actually understand what's happening in the real estate market in today's world and have a better understanding of how we can get you into the market now.
Agree. 100%. I read a report that if you compare today to 2008, when the market crashed, today is way more difficult because we have less inventory, interest rates are higher, and believe it or not, we have buyers wanting to buy. So there's going to be some competition for those buyers that come in, but in the right properties, they've been sitting for the right time, you may be able to snatch a deal. So it is a really crazy market, and that's why it's really important that you have professionals that truly understand what's going on in the market and can explain to you the difference between 2009, 2019, and 2026. Because that's going to make a whole world of difference when you're making your decisions.
Yes. So thank you, everyone who has tuned in and watched today's market update. Stay tuned for Wednesday's show. We're looking forward to that.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.